Hello everyone, this is Marilyn Gale. Thank you for joining me. Finally, guys, I am going to make the toasted coconut cake with mango and pomegranate. And let me just show you the ingredients. Besides the egg, the butter, and the 2/3 cup of milk, which I supply in the kit, we have the mango for the, excuse me, before I drop something, the mascarpone for the frosting. We have shredded coconut, which unsweetened, which I am going to toast. Here is the coconut milk powder. Oops. Also, actually we had two. And then we're going to have a little jar, come on, focus, a little jar of pomegranate seeds, which I'm not going to use all of these, guys. I'm just going to use a little bit of these because I do not swallow those seeds. They say you can chew them up, but nah, I don't want that on top of my cake. There's the lime we're going to use. We have confectionery sugar, and this is 5 ounces. Here's some white granulated sugar. And here's some self-rising flour. And I always like to tell you guys what I'm using. So if you want to try this out on your own, you know, let me know and I'll give you the measurements of all the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. Okay, let me show you what I've done so far. I took 4 tablespoons of butter and melted it, and I took, and this is all unsalted butter, I took 6 tablespoons of butter and put the mascarpone together, and I'm gonna let that soften. I left it out to soften, but this is you know, this is gonna soften even more so it'll be pliable. Then what I did was I put the coconut in a small skillet and I toasted it, and it takes maybe about 2 minutes, but you're supposed to just stand there and just, you know, stir it up, so because that can burn very quickly. So here's my toasted coconut. Okay, now what I did to prepare my 8-inch pan, and this may be a 10-inch if it's, I think it's an 8-inch, but anyway, I spread butter on the sides and the bottom, and I'm going to put about a teaspoon of flour and just tilt it around. I usually don't use butter, but I think with the butter it's going to be a crisper crust. So I just, you know, go around on the side so we can hit that butter in the pan with that self-rising. Oh, I've never done with self-rising, so I'm kind of curious. Maybe you guys have done that, but I haven't. And I'm just gonna twirl it till I hit all the sides of this pan. So let me put just a little bit more. Oops. And hit some of the sides with a little more flour. I don't want it to stick. Then we're just going to get rid of the excess. Okay, so that butter that I melted, I'm going to pour that in the bowl. Then I'm going to whisk in my egg. I'm going exactly by the Marley Spoon recipe because this is a little different on how I, the order that I put my egg and butter, but that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to put a half a cup while I'm whisking. A half a cup of sugar, granulated sugar. And I use the longer handle whisk. Okay, so I'm going to use 1 1/2 cup of the self-rising flour. And this, I have my cup that's used already for something else. So I don't know where my other one is. So I like to sift it. It didn't say it, but I sift. Anytime I make a cake, that's a half. Here's another half. Every time I make a cake, I usually use cake flour, but this is self-rising, so I didn't have any of that. And then one more. Okay, that's my phone. Don't people call at the wrong time? But you know what, they don't know my schedule, so I can't really get mad. Okay, that's 1 1/2 cup. Guys, don't you guys hate that scam lightly? It's like, and then I had one time the same number, I don't know how they managed that, but the same number, back to back to back. I mean, I could hardly, they were all like ringing at like, you hang it up and then immediately the next number came on, the same number, and it was just spontaneous. So I blocked all of it, and okay, and that's the flour. And then let's see, then a 1/3 cup of milk. Okay, let me get my third. Oops. Put a little bit more. And I'm going to whisk that. Actually, that was 2/3 cup of milk. And what I didn't have regular milk, guys. So what I did, I just had heavy cream. So what I did was put half and half of water and the heavy cream. And it's really a good substitute. Then what I'm going to do is I'm putting 1/3 cup of the toasted coconut in the batter. And whisk it up really good. I usually use an electric blender, and what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of the batter and a cup of water, and if it floats, I'm okay, and if it goes down to the bottom, I know I need to put more liquid. That's how I do it. Okay, so now I'm going to pour the batter into the prepared pan. even it out. Okay guys, I'm going to put it in a 350 degree oven. I'm going to put it on the center rack. I'm going to let it cook for about 25 minutes. I'm going to check it. Now most people put a toothpick in the middle, and if something comes up, that means you need to bake it longer. But what I do is I might do the toothpick method, but if you see your cake separate from the pan around the outsides, it's done. Okay guys, this is the next to the last step. I am going to make the frosting for the cake, and I have here the mascarpone and the butter, and I'm just going to take the mixer and just incorporate all that mascarpone and butter so it's nice and smooth. Okay, so what I did is I added, this is the frosting, I added the to the mascarpone and the butter, I added the coconut milk powder, confectionery sugar, and a pinch of salt. I'm going to start it on the lowest speed so the flour won't fly everywhere, and then I'll build it up slowly. Okay, look, it's nice and fluffy, and now I'm just going to put icing on my cake. I didn't have to add anything to it to make it fluffy. It's just a matter of how long you beat it, and this was like 3 minutes. Okay. I transferred it to a plate. It was completely cooled. I took it out the oven. I let it set in the pan for about 20 minutes, and then I took it out of the cake pan and I let it rest on a wire shelf. What do you call it? I always forget what you call it. But anyway, I let it cool for an hour, and then I made the frosting for the cake. So the frosting is very, very fresh. So I will spread this out and make it look pretty, and I'm going to top it with the remaining coconut. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sprinkling it with the leftover, with the remaining coconut, toasted coconut. This is going to be delicious. Forgive the background, I'm listening to Bible study. And so, if you hear something in the background, that's what you hear. Okay, I'm not going to put all of this. I want to just use this for the thumbnail purposes. I'm going to take this off because I want my fruit on the side. Uh-oh, my shadow was in the way. Sorry. And I want to sprinkle just a little bit of the pomegranate seeds just for decoration. Uh-oh. Okay. And there you go. Okay, let's taste it. I love that coconut taste throughout the cake and the frosting. This is so good. Thank you guys for joining me. If you need for me to put the ingredients and everything in the description area, just let me know. Guys, this is so good. Subscribe to my channel. Like the recipe. Leave a comment if you like. And have a great rest of the week.